We'll see what happens later on today. Can the Padres take two, and can they narrow that lead that the Dodgers have? Great friends. We're glad you guys are here. Last night was super exciting. Biggest crowd in the history of Petco Park. And what an incredible game. Grande, Brown Man, jump on in here. What do you say, fellas?
Yeah, great night. Great day.
This is national news, what happened last night. It was, and I don't mean to cut you off. It was on the ESPN this morning, opening the show. It was on Get Up, opening the show. It made an appearance on the other one too. I can't remember the name of it, but it first take and Get Up, Sports Center. So all ESPN. This was in the first 5 minutes of the broadcast. So this was a thing last night too. I want to be very clear because you keep telling me, "Oh, don't give up on the division. Don't give up on the division." I'm saying let that go and focus on playing consistently. Playing consistently. Stop the ups and downs. Be more consistent. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Because again, this was a 500 team for a very long time. Now, with what they did at the trade deadline, which I'm sure we'll get to, I think we might be in good shape. But you're miscategorizing what I said when I say give up on the division, because I still hold that to be true. Let it go. Focus on what you're doing.
I'm not letting – listen, to me, I would – if I'm the Padres, clearly they are all in for right now. They're not worried about next year or 2 years from now or 5 years from now. Prospects don't matter. They have taken on the philosophy of the LA Rams. F them picks. The way the Rams won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, hey, we're going all in right now. We'll make a trade for this guy, and we'll bring in this guy, and we're going to try and win the Super Bowl in our home stadium, and we're going all in for this year, and we'll suffer with the consequences later on down the line. The Padres are in a very similar position because they got nothing left in the farm. So they're not concerned about next year or the year after. They're concerned about now.
Well, I think that's what's a very interesting story about this too, is because we've been under the assumption, I think the three of us agree, that if AJ Preller doesn't make the playoffs, the Padres, that he's likely to be fired, to be canned, because his safety blanket, the owner of the Padres, passed away, and Peter Seidler. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're working under the wrong assumption, because if that is the case, to allow him to absolutely decimate your farm for the chance of making a postseason this year, maybe they're not. Maybe they just trust AJ Preller. Maybe the same ownership group is coming in here and they're like, yo, this is our dude. We're going to roll with him. And like I told you guys in the offseason, Mike Schultz was the perfect hire because it's the guy that AJ wanted. So let's just AJ run. If AJ's going to run this team, let him run this team. And maybe the ownership's doing the same thing. And maybe he's not going to get fired whether they make the postseason or not. Because to let the general manager trade all but 2 of your top 15 prospects, that's a lot of faith in a guy if you think about firing him in the offseason.
So my question because I've heard what you said a lot. My question to those people who believe what Alex is saying, where are they going to play when they come up? Your outfield seems to be locked. Your infield seems to be locked. And the only position...
But he traded away 18, 19-year-olds in single A. They're not coming up next year. You know, that's not... That to answer your question, they're not going to come up anytime soon.
But my whole point is Tatis has 7 years left on his deal. Merrill's new. Machado's got...
Stay healthy.
Huh?
Tatis can't stay healthy. That's the proven fact.
What I'm saying from a contractual standpoint, all around the diamond on our everyday guys, those spots are locked. So if you're trading 18, 19-year-old guys, this is why you have those prospects, because you need to move them in situations like this. Because I believe what they did at the trade deadline is far better than getting another big name starting pitcher.
Well, let's talk about what happened last night, because there are a ton of people that are with us here in Southern California that had their eyes all over this last night. And then there are a whole bunch of other people that are tuning in from around the country that are like, okay, guys, I'm in Philly, I'm in New York, I'm not keeping up with Padres Dodgers. And by the way, it's the exact same thing we say to you guys when it's the Red Sox Yankees on ESPN, and we're like, oh my goodness, another Red Sox Yankees game. Last night was incredible. The Dodgers jump out to a 5-0 lead. The Padres start trying to chip away a little bit, Manny Machado would hit a home run. It was like a 5-2 ball game. And then it got late into the game, and it was into the bottom of the ninth, and the Padres tie the game, take the game to the 11th inning, and some weird stuff happened because Mark Pryor, the pitching coach of the Dodgers, came out to visit the mound, and then he came back to the dugout, but then Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, went out to visit the mound. There was a walk of Jurickson Profar, which, by the way, let me just say that again. They walked Jurickson Profar to load the bases. Now, for everybody who's in San Diego, you know the kind of season Jurickson Profar has had. For a lot of you guys on the East Coast, you're like, oh, yeah, I think I remember him starting in the All-Star game, but I never heard of the guy before. Dude, Jurickson Profar is a 1-year, $1 million contract, and the Dodgers respected him enough to say, we'll just put him on base. But something kind of really weird happened in that whole transaction. Do you guys know what? Because I'll tell you this right now. I was on my way home last night from Rams training camp back down here to San Diego. It's a legit 2-hour drive. I was listening to the broadcast on the Dodgers radio station because the Padres radio station sounds like this. Okay. Anyway, I listened to the Dodgers radio station all the way from Rams training camp all the way to San Diego. And I ran into my house to see how this thing was going to finish. And that's when there was all this confusion about Dave Roberts' visit to the mound. You guys know what happened.
I do now. I didn't last night because the big TV got taken by the wife watching Simone Biles and the women's win gold on primetime. Because like I said, she can avoid spoilers. And I got relegated to my cell phone on mute. So I had no idea what was happening until.
Wait, your cell phone was on mute, big dog?
Yeah, no, I think, but listen, it was on mute. All right. I was watching, but it was on mute.
You could get one headphone in?
I didn't even try. So I do now, though. And to be totally fair, but listen, I'm not an MLB manager, so I don't have to know every rule. That's a rule that Dave Roberts should probably know. Probably. Wouldn't you think?
Well,
when your bullpen coach comes out and talks to a player, he is now enforced to finish that at bat. So Dave coming out, seeing that Mike Schilt pinch hit Donovan Solano for Jake Cronenworth, you can't then go make a move because your boy already went out there to talk to him. Not only can you not make a move, but you took a pitch clock violation, and now it's 1-0 to start the count. So you're already starting off with, your guy knows he wants to get taken out, and now you're down 1-0. So not a good look for Dave.
No, not a good look, especially for people who want Dave Roberts fired, people who don't believe in Dave Roberts, people who think that Dave Roberts has had so much talent and so much time and hasn't delivered other than the one championship, which was during the COVID year. So look, we're just getting underway. I want to dive deeper into what happened last night and into this game because this was one of the most epic comebacks that the Padres have ever.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of, Franz Wagner, another player, Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Mustache is falling off. It's got to go. Skeen's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
All right, great friends, wherever you are around the country, if you are on the East Coast listening on Sirius Channel 159, if you are watching on SportsGrid TV, on your Roku, on Amazon Prime, like I am. Oh, by the way, SportsGrid people got that thing fixed. Remember yesterday we were talking about like the preview slide on Prime, how it was like these three old guys, and we're like, that's not us. And today they already got that thing fixed. So great job, Mike Cardano and our team at SportsGrid. If you are watching on our YouTube channel and you're involved in our live YouTube chat, we're glad you guys are here. YouTube.com/Kaplan and crew. And I want to jump right back into the Padres and the Dodgers last night. But before I do, hey, fellas, yesterday I was at Rams training camp. I come pulling up at Rams training camp. I'm rocking these new blenders, these Coach
there again?
Primes. Yeah, I was there again yesterday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I know, dude. I am burnt. And it's only Wednesday. But the back and forth driving. But I don't want to say anything because then all of a sudden I'm a complainer. You know what I mean? The 400 miles of driving in the last 2 days, but I'm a complainer. Yesterday, I show up yesterday at Rams training camp, and I'm wearing these new blenders, these new Coach Primes, and everybody is like, dude, those glasses are fire. And I'm like, yes, they are. In fact, they slap. I'm just trying to use every cool term that I can come up with. These blenders are rad. And I'm just going to tell you right now, everybody loves them. These are the Coach Primes, the Deion Sanders. They say Coach Prime up here in the corner. They got the Blenders logo over here. They got these super cool gold frames, these awesome like lenses that are polarized, and you can get them too. All you have to do is go to blenderseyewear.com and you use our code Kaplan and you save 20%. Blenderseyewear.com, use the code Kaplan and you're saving 20%. What do you think about that?
Love it.
Browner, what are you wearing? What blenders
you
you
doing
rocking?
good till you had just talking about slapping, huh? Oh, you already know what these is. These are funny story behind these glasses. Okay. Wait.
Funny stories, you can't get them on your head.
I lost them. I left them at an auto parts store because y'all know I'm a part mechanic now. It's in my blood because I bled and grease got in there. But that's a different story. So I left them there. I've gone there so many times, the worker stopped me in the street. Shout out to Roxana. Said, hey, you left your glasses at the store. I went back. I thought they stole them because the guy was like, yeah, they gone. But I found them. And we back. Shout out. Shout out to our guy Chase. And I shout out to Blenders, baby, because you already know. These them limited edition. These them limited editions. Only wear limited.
Yep. I'm rocking them right now myself. They look good. Hey, for everybody that is hitting us up on our YouTube live chat or anybody who's sending me any messages about how there was a delay on Sirius today. Look, we're like 8 shows in to working with SportsGrid. And it's the technology. There's a little bit of, growing pains. So hang with us. We're going to be fine. But for everybody that's giving us information that there was a delay on Sirius, we appreciate the heads up. Thank you very much for that. All right, let me jump right back in to what happened last night. So we were talking about how Dave Roberts, and maybe we should reset the story here, Alex, about what exactly happened. You want to reset it? Because I want to play for everybody what Dave Roberts said.
Yeah, what would you like me to reset?
Well, let's go to, I guess,
a lot happened.
The 10th inning.
Okay.
Well, but I mean, let's get to the meat of what really happened at the very end, because the Padres made a spectacular comeback. Listen, I said it a couple weeks ago. Manny Machado was going to take over as the leader when they had all the injuries to Xander Bogaerts and Fernando Tatis and Musgrove and Darvish took off. It was going to be Manny time. Last night, you talk about putting a team on your back with 2 home runs, and that first pitch home run in the 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th, first pitch of the inning, boom, gone. And then when Bogaerts struck out, and then there's one down, and then Browner, you said at the beginning of the year you thought Jackson Merrill was going to be a baller. This is a 21-year-old child in his rookie season who comes up clutch with a monster home run that tied the game. And then we wind up going into the 10th inning. Padres get the Dodgers out in the top of the 10th, and here comes the bottom of the 10th. I think that's where you should probably pick it up.
Yeah, so Kyle Higashioka walked to start the inning. Kim started in second. Luis Rice came up to bat, sacrificed them over second and third. And then the Dodgers decided to to intentionally walk Jurickson Profar. And that's
which, by the way, brings me to this real quick. The MV Profar t-shirt that we sent to the Padres clubhouse. We sent like 50 of these things. I'd like to see them brothers put these things on. I'd like to see some of the Padre players wearing some of these MV Profar t-shirts. And by the way, they are available. You know where to get them, kaplanandcrew.com. The MV Profar t-shirts. We sold a bunch of these when we first put them out. Everybody seems to be loving them. Shout out to Miss Molly. I know she rocks hers. All right, pick it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so then Mark Pryor goes out because Mike Schilt decides, or Mark Pryor goes out to talk to Alex Vesia. And that means that now Vesia has to face the next batter up, which was scheduled to be Jay Cronenworth. And Mike Schilt decides, you know what? Donovan Solano is hitting lefties amazing. Jay Cronenworth is hitting below 200 against lefties. I know it's a big situation, but Donovan Solano has had a big year when he's had the opportunity, especially when Xander Bogaerts was out. And so he pinch hits Donovan Solano. Dave Roberts tries to come out to take out Vesia, put in Evan Phillips, but the rules are the rules. You can't do that. Takes a pitch clock violation. Count starts 1-0.
But wait, the rules are the rules. I just want to make sure we back up. Because they walked Profar and they didn't pitch to him, he doesn't count as one of the 3 batters that the pitcher has to face. Is that right?
Oh, that's a great question, Scott. And if Dave Roberts doesn't know, I as hell don't know.
Oh, I'm asking you like as if you're like the commissioner of baseball.
No idea.
As if you would know that.
All
but
I know is
I think that's what the problem was, is that because they didn't pitch to Profar, he doesn't count as a batter that the pitcher had faced. Therefore, you can't take the pitcher out. He has to face a certain number of batters.
And walking Profar was probably the right thing to do because that creates a force out. Now you load the bases and now you can, do a double play as opposed to second and third with 1 out. So that was probably the right call. Regardless, Vesia has to face Solano. Solano walks it off. Padres win. Come back from 5-0 to win 6-5.
In front of the largest crowd in the history of this ballpark. How they continue to keep packing more and more people.
It's like the 3rd time this year.
Right. Like you'd think that there's a capacity, 45,000. Then all of a sudden it's 46. Last night, I want to say it was like 47 and change. The place was on fire. Now, do you know, this is what happens to me. Okay, there it is last night, 47,559.
So like
attendance record.
Is Gallagher Square just,
yes.
We're just increasing.
Let him in.
You're out there like this.
Right. Like it's Mardi Gras.
You got to be brown or skinny. You can't look like me to be back there. We need to fill this thing,
Dude,
there's a width limit. There's a width limit out there.
I had a guy today, this morning, and I don't want to air anybody out. I will not say his name, but he knows who he is, and I'm sure he's watching and listening right now. I had a friend of our show today send me a text, and I'm telling you, it was probably 10 minutes ago. And you know what he said to me? He said, hey, do you have some contacts to the Padres? I need to get 8 tickets for tonight's game because I want to send my employees to the game tonight. I go, bro,
day of
8 tickets against the Dodgers on night 2, and you're asking me at a few hours before the game, like literally 6-7 hours before the game. Come on, really?
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16.
Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, great friends. Hey, it is a Wednesday. It's Kaplan and crew, got Grande and the Brown Man, and we are in the 7 Mile Casino studio, 7milecasino.com. Look, for everybody that's hitting me up on every platform known to man, yeah, I know there was a little bit of a delay getting onto Sirius satellite radio today. And for everybody that's in our live YouTube chat that's telling me there's a little bit of choppiness to the audio, we're working on that too. This happens, man. Yesterday, I was at
to
Rams
everybody
training-
that's having that issue, just if you're watching on YouTube, just refresh the page. It should help.
Okay. Because I'll tell you guys right now, listen, I was at Rams training camp yesterday, and we've got this full staff professional engineering team. They got the best equipment, and they got real live engineers and everything else. And dude, we kept getting knocked off the air, you know? So, and this is ESPN, and they're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to be properly engineered, and stuff happens, man. This is technology in 2024, Jack.
You have an IT professional right here on top
That's
right,
it.
and
That's
I
right.
get paid thousands of dollars. So same thing.
Yeah, same thing. It happens. What can I tell you?
Technically.
It happens. It does. I hope everybody's feeling good today. I'm on my athletic greens as I always am. I take them every single day. All the vitamins, nutrients, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, all right here in one. All I got to do is take 12 ounces of water, put in my athletic greens. You get the 1-year supply of vitamin D when you buy through us, plus those 5 free travel packs. And I take it every day, no matter where I am. And in fact, I'm going to be up in Mammoth over the next couple of days because I go up there for this blues festival every summer. I'm taking my travel packs with me, and I'm going to stay healthy on the road with Athletic Greens. athleticgreens.com/Kaplan, athleticgreens.com/Kaplan.
That win last night for you guys, that walk-off for the Padres, as a Padre fan, obviously I could see it on social media. It means a lot more. I put a 12-second clip on our Instagram page at Kaplan and Crew of just a walk-off.
Mm-hmm.
Just the amount of joy and happiness that Padre fans feel when they beat the Dodgers is just unparalleled to any other team. And for me, I don't know about you guys, last year, going down 5-0 in the first inning, last year's team,
Done.
They lose
Done.
12-1.
But that's the difference between last year's Padres, which I said to you last year, I hate this team. I literally said out loud on the radio, I hate this team. This year's team, and I said it early in the season, there's a big difference. This team this year has heart. And we've seen it all season long where they've fought and they've come back and they've clawed and they've given effort. Last year, honestly, I don't know if it was the manager. I don't know if it was Juan Soto. I don't know if it was Tatis, who was just coming back from his year previous where he'd gotten hurt.
And now gone again.
Right. But I'm just telling you right now that there was a chemistry problem on this team last year. Okay. It could have been Josh Hader and his unwillingness to sacrifice for his teammates. I don't know exactly what the problem. It could have been Blake Snell and seemingly pitching the way he did just because he was trying to get a contract. I don't know for sure. Could have been Bob Melvin, bad manager of a different, he couldn't manage that group of players. I'll just tell you this right now. This team this year, a year ago, hateable. This year, lovable because they've got heart.
I think last year's team crumbled under the expectations. So the idea of what was happening, that was more interesting from a content perspective because you're like, look at all this talent. What's going on? This is more like, this feels more homegrown. This feels more like the fan base's team as opposed to last year's team kind of felt like the professional business of baseball. Now, obviously, we got a lot of highly paid guys on this roster still, but you have a homegrown guy in Jay Cronenworth. You have a diamond in the rough like Profar.
I don't know if I'd call Cronenworth homegrown per se, but go ahead.
Yeah, he was
okay.
traded.
Well, Jackson
Yeah, he's not
Merrill.
like Jackson Merrill. Now you get credit for Jackson Merrill.
Yeah. So you have guys on this roster that feel like yours, or if they don't feel like yours, they feel like you're fine. Like, oh, we found this, and so I think that's the connective tissue. That's the glue that makes this team feel different. Last year's team felt bought. Like a legit just felt like, hey,
I think it's a little bit of what Scott's saying, a little bit of what you're saying. I think it is a lot of they're just playing with actual conviction this year, which last year it just always all we heard. And you know what? It didn't help them last year is that all these guys are like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And this year, you're not hearing we'll figure it out when they lose 5-6 in a row. Like, yo, we have to we have to play harder. We have to play smarter. We have to have better at bats. We have to have a better plan. Like last year was like, yeah, we're good. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Here comes August. They stink. So there's a big difference between not only what we see visibly, but also what we're hearing from the players themselves. The manager's not throwing everybody under the bus. You know, we're not hearing about
and he may have outmanaged Dave Roberts last night, because the thing is this, for all we're talking about this mistake where the Dodgers pitching coach comes out, talks to the pitcher, and then here comes Dave Roberts and he wants to come out, and it turned into, and he thought he could change pitchers, but he couldn't because the pitcher hadn't thrown to Profar. You know, Schilt, I got to give him credit, because it was Jake Cronenworth who was due up. And Jake Cronenworth has been generally clutch, but all the data and all the analytics said that Cronenworth against the left-hander was not the right move. So he made the move, and it paid off for him, and he got the game-winning hit. I mean, that was a great piece of management. And
what has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and I have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the turn.
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
all right, great friends. Hey, it's Wednesday. It's Kaplan and crew, got Grande and the Brown Man, and we are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. And I will just say this, just kind of taking a quick breather from where we started. We started on Padres-Dodgers, and what an incredible comeback it was last night by the Padres. They're down 5-0 at home in front of a record crowd in a playoff atmosphere, and all of a sudden they just start chipping away, and then it becomes super spectacular when you get to the bottom of the ninth and Manny Machado hits a home run, and Jackson Merrill hits a home run to tie it, take it into the 10th. Some question marks and controversy around Dave Roberts and a move he was trying to make, an excellent managerial move by Mike Schilt of the Padres, and it paid off for him, and the Padres win the game, and they'll play game 2 of this series today. And if the Padres win this game tonight, okay, all of a sudden Padre fans are going to start to look at the division and go, this can be won. And Dodger fans may look at the division and go, are we in trouble here? Do we have some real problems? Because one thing we're going to get back to is all the moves that were made by both of these teams as they were getting ready to go head-to-head. We'll get there in just a second. But I just want to say to everybody who's listening, especially everybody locally here in San Diego, Orange County, and Los Angeles, I will talk today at the end of the show about our very last day, which is today, our very last day on terrestrial radio in San Diego.
Confirmed.
Official.
Today is the last day that we will be on radio in San Diego. So we've been on a radio station called the Mighty 1090. I started this radio station in 2003. I've broadcast on this radio station until today, and today is the very last day. I'll explain why. And I never even in the last 2 days, knowing this was happening, I had no like emotion around it at all. 5 years ago, when the radio station went off the air, I was in desperation mode. 5 years later, not only was I was prepared to go on without radio or television, no problem at all. But it turns out that somebody said to me yesterday, they're like, wow, what a run by you to be on the local radio for 23 years. And when they said that to me, I went, you know what? I should probably take a time out and talk about this a little bit because it is sort of a big deal that we're leaving terrestrial AM radio in the rear view and we're going forward on Sirius and through streaming services. And we're going into the future of broadcasting while leaving the historic sort of old school platforms in the rear view. And by the way, I sent out a letter to every one of our sponsored partners yesterday, telling them exactly what was going on and what we were doing and how we were prepared for it. And you know that everybody sent back a message that said, congratulations, we can't wait to grow with you guys. So that was super cool. So I will talk about the demise of 1090 for it's finally officially dead. Today, we bury it. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. How about that?
Great.
Wow. Bury it?
Got to
We'll
bury
get to it later.
Got to bury it, Browner. Just got to bury it.
Can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's officially dead. And so then we got to have a funeral, I think.
I wore all black.
Yeah.
That's not why you were all black. Hey, Manchester, you.
Are you all ready for tonight's Manchester United game? Is that what
Look
you're
at
dressed
him.
for?
What do you mean?
I will be. I was hoping that our Snapdragon friends would send these kits by now, but I haven't got them. So
Are you wearing one under your jacket right now?
no, I got because it's got a ugly old Chevrolet sign in the front of it. I love the jersey. I love the jersey so much. Like it's cool red, all black with like stuff, but the sponsor so hideous, this logo, you know, that I don't wear it on the show because it's like Chevy doesn't sponsor us, so why should I sponsor them?
Right.
But Chevy, we open. We national
Yeah.
Chevy.
Yeah, that's
We're
true.
available.
That's true. So, all right. So listen, let me say this, that what made yesterday so amazing, at least for me as a fan, is that you've got the Dodgers in first place, and we all know about all their injuries, and we all know that the expectations that they have. And then you've got the Padres who don't have anywhere near those expectations, okay? But they are in it, and they're going to be buyers rather than sellers because of the way the second half of the season started. And you've got two teams that are both battling to make trades for arms. And there was one trade that was made yesterday where the Padres had gotten a pitcher from Miami. And according to the reports, the Dodgers were also in on potentially trying to trade for this guy. And they just kept kind of raising the stakes. So the Padres had to put in more and more to get the guy that they wanted. Alex, let's go through everything that the Padres and the Dodgers did yesterday.
Everything.
There were a lot of moves that got made.
How about we pay attention to the ones that matter for the Dodgers real quick? Because, 10 minutes before the trade deadline, I was like, dude, they're really not going to do anything other than get a broken Tommy Edman, like, and an unreliable middle reliever. Like, are they really not going to add to this starting rotation? And then, of course, the Dodgers being the Dodgers, they get the big fish, and they get Flaherty from the Tigers, who so far this season, 7-5, 2.95 ERA, 133 strikeouts to 19 walks. 5-1 since through June and July. So he's really stepped it up here. And now the Dodgers, who we all assume needed starting pitching, got starting pitching.
But that guy Flaherty, I mean, I'm not exactly sitting around watching Detroit Tigers baseball all the time, so I don't want to act
This
like
isn't the equivalent of them getting Max Scherzer.
No, it's not.
A couple years ago.
Right. And this Flaherty, a few years ago, I'm talking like 5 years ago, he's like a Cy Young candidate. I think he finished fourth in the Cy Young in 2019. You'd have to fact check me, but I'm like 99.9% sure. And then in the last season, I think he was in St. Louis and in Baltimore, and
he was a deadline day deal to Baltimore, and he was awful once he got to Baltimore for their final stretch. Didn't even start a game in the playoffs for them.
So there you go. So you get what I'm saying is that like 5 years ago, he was a Cy Young candidate. Then last year, he's not really doing that great, and he gets traded. And to your point, he doesn't really perform for Baltimore, but he's made a massive comeback in his career this year. And the Dodgers went out and said, we need an arm. He was the best guy available. They went out and got him. because you don't know what's going to happen. Because like you look at tonight's game, Padres-Dodgers. For the Padres, it's Dylan Cease coming off of a no-hitter. And for the Padres, it's Clayton Kershaw, who's coming off of his – what did I say?
Dodgers.
What did I say?
Oh, you said Padres again. It's all good.
Sorry. For the Padres, it's Dylan Cease coming off of a no-hitter. For the Dodgers, it's Clayton Kershaw coming off of his first start of the entire season where he only gave you 4 innings. So advantage San Diego tonight.
Ooh. Listen, this is a big matchup. I know Clayton Kershaw isn't what he used to be, but that name and that color, that still resonates. That still gets people to the television. And Dylan Cease coming off a no-hitter. This is a big pitching matchup. And now you added to what happened last night. The atmosphere for this game, it's going to be in the air.
And I would assume that a lot of the guys they got yesterday or the day before should be in town tonight. And they're going to need it because the Padres went through a lot of bullpen yesterday. So, which has been, I know people disagree with me. I didn't think it was their biggest need. And I know they needed to help that bullpen. It's been, Robert Suarez has come in, I believe, 13 non-save situations this season. That's not ideal. So now they really did bolster their bullpen. They got Jason Adam. They got Tanner Scott, who was the Marlins All-Star.
Right, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what it looked since the beginning of the baseball season, March, February, spring training. This is every player that's come in and every prospect / player that's gone out so far for the Padres this season.
Look at this list. Oh,
that is not
God.
edited at all. I know it feels like years ago, but Dylan Cease was acquired in March. Luis Arias was acquired in April. And I didn't, sync up the trades to who they got for who. I'm just telling you, this is everybody that the Padres have got. Jason Adam, the relief pitcher, Tanner Scott, Brian Hoeing's the relief pitcher, Brandon Lockridge, who's like a AAA guy, and Martin Perez, who's this year's Rich Hill. In my opinion, I don't think he's going to do much, but hey, they got the guy. He can start some games if you need him.
But look at the other side of the screen, the outgoing side. You see the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Those prospects, 2 through 13, are gone. You have 1, and then you have 14 through 23, because after that, but bottom line is this. The Padres have traded away their entire minor league system to try and win now. We thought they were aggressive when they went and got Juan Soto 2 years ago. They have nothing left as of today in their system.
Well, nothing they're willing to trade. They're not going to trade Ethan Salas, and they're not going to trade DeVries. Other than that, they got nothing, supposedly.
Here's what I am more impressed by. The league now goes, if you get this to the 6th inning as a starting pitcher, we'll win the game. 7, 8, 9, we ready. Are you?
Well, last night was amazing. And I know people...
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded, and he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, great friends. As I just said, I can't believe it. Tonight, Manchester United is in San Diego playing, I guess what you would call an exhibition game. And I'm going to see a Premier League soccer game tonight or team. You'll have to explain what's going on. To me, it's an event. When we got tickets to go see Manchester United at Snapdragon Stadium, I was like, okay, well, I didn't go last year. Alex told me it wasn't that great because the Manchester team didn't even bring in their superstars. I don't even know who are their superstars. To me, it was just an event. It was a community event. That's why I said I would go. I should have checked the Padres schedule. Had I seen that it was the Padres-Dodgers game 2 of a series, I might not have committed to going to Manchester United, but I'll just do this. I'll go to this Manchester United game tonight because it's an event. It's something I've never seen before. I've never been to before, and I'll probably be watching the Padre game on my phone. So at what time does this game kick off tonight?
7.
Okay, and the Padres-Dodgers kicks off at
5:40.
Yeah, 5:40, first pitch. So yeah, so I'll catch a lot of the early part of the Padre game in whatever. I don't know. Is there like tailgating or hospitality tonight? What's the situation?
I'll probably be in the parking lot somewhere drinking some brewskis before the game.
Mm-hmm.
If it's hot, I might not, but I should be fine.
Ain't that gonna stop you from drinking? What you talking about?
No, drinking in the parking lot as opposed to drinking inside in a bar.
And it's like hot.
Yeah.
What? That's what the beer's for.
I just looked up and saw myself on SportsGrid on TV, and I look like on the right side of my face, I have like one little blip of an eyebrow, and on the other side of my face, I look like I have no eyebrow, and my lighting's all off, and my face is all bright. I mean, I look like a mess.
What are you doing?
I'm just not a good-looking guy on TV right now.
Do the show, man.
On radio, I'm good-looking. On television, not so hot.
What about on
your
YouTube?
voice? Your voice is kind of ugly. I don't know.
Really? And my voice is bad too?
I don't know.
Are you good looking on YouTube?
On YouTube? I look better on YouTube than I do on TV. Hey, if you are with us today, no matter where you are, if you are listening on SportsGrid Radio on channel 159 on Sirius, if you're watching on SportsGrid on any of the different television platforms, we're happy to have all you guys here. And we always encourage you to get into our live YouTube chat, youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew. So we've started off today talking a lot of Padres-Dodgers.
Yep.
Dodgers made a trade yesterday. They got a new starting pitcher. Padres made trades. They brought in help for the bullpen. Padres have given up pretty much everything in their farm system. And I know people are saying to me, hey, AJ Preller knows a whole lot more about baseball than we do. Yeah, I would expect so. He's a general manager and a president of baseball operations for a major league ball club for the last 10 years. I'm going to give him credit that he knows more about baseball and knows more about his team and more about his prospects and more about what he's trying to build than we do. And I have absolutely zero issue with AJ Preller and the Padres going for it now. When they went out and got Juan Soto 2 years ago, that was an indication that they were serious and they were ready to play ball. The next year, when they went out and got Xander Bogaerts and they spent all that money, they gave Joe Musgrove money. They gave Yu Darvish money. They went out and made this trade before the start of the season with Dylan Cease. They're serious about trying to win. I'm all in, and I don't care about number 2 prospect through number 13 prospect. Don't mean nothing to me.
Listen, I'd much rather be all in than whatever the Giants are doing. You know, I'd much rather be all in than whatever the Marlins are doing. As I know they're very, very different situations, but this is a much more exciting thing to follow for the next 2 months as opposed to that. So yeah, let's go. AJ, you know, I listen, there's no secret here to the local audience. I think the guy should go, but if they keep making the playoffs, I have no problem being proven wrong. No problem.
What happened at the deadline, and this is what I was prefacing at the end of the last segment. The San Diego Padres starting pitching got a larger uplift than people could imagine by what they did to the back end of the bullpen. If as a starter, they're just asking you, get to the 6th inning. And with what their pitching has been doing lately, if you get Joe Musgrove back healthy, if you get Yu Darvish back healthy and now rested, because he hasn't been going due to injury, so he should be rested, so he should be fresh. You get those guys back, and you're saying, get us to the 6th inning, Michael King, Dylan Cease in addition to that. In the 7th, 8th, and 9th, these guys we now have are very difficult to hit.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers are saying the exact same thing. if we get Mookie Betts back healthy, if we get Max Muncy back healthy, if Freddie Freeman comes back from whatever list he's on right now and he comes back and he starts hitting the way he's supposed to hit, great. If they start doing that and Ohtani's doing his thing, you know what they're saying?
We're going to run away with this division.
We're going to score so many runs.
Yeah.
You're under
We're
the
going to score
impression.
so many runs.
See, but here's the difference in how I viewed the season and how other people have viewed the season. I'm only focused on what the Padres are doing. Because if they don't do what they need to do, it's irrelevant what someone else does. My only focus has been on what they're doing, how the Padres are working forward, how the Padres are doing chemistry-wise.
Well, you're a very micro guy. I'm a big macro guy.
You are.
I'm a big macro guy. I'm looking back. I'm looking at the Diamondbacks.
You're hyper-local.
They're a half game behind the Padres right now, dude.
You're so hyper-local, man. I mean, like, to me, I'm looking at the Dodgers, and of course, I play LA Cap a few days a week, but I'm like, hey, look, I want to see what the Dodgers are doing. I want to keep my eye on the Dodgers. I want to know what they've got. I want to know what's cooking in their clubhouse. I want to know their storyline. I'm usually, like, when it comes to basketball, I watch the Lakers and whoever the Lakers are playing, and I can care less about the rest of the league.
But what Browner's saying about the Padres, the Diamondbacks are experiencing it right now. They are getting all their guys back healthy, and now they don't stop winning. Then the only reason they're a half game back maybe is because they played one game less than the Padres. They're right there. So I agree, Browner. If you're a Padre fan, if you're covering the Padres, that's what you care about is the Padres handle their business, get in the playoffs, and see what happens. That's every baseball team. Ask the Dodgers. But what I'm saying is I think I'm kind of leaning towards Scott now. If it takes Betts a lot longer, if Muncy doesn't come back, if Yamamoto doesn't come back, maybe it's not just a wild card thing here.
If you reset your focus and now that becomes a goal that you're trying to attain, you will be disappointed.
Well, I think we're talking about fan bases.
Let's all play for second place. Let's all just play for second place. Let's just admit that the Dodgers are going to run away with the division, and let's all just play for second place. Oh, and then let's not even worry about what's happening behind us with Arizona, who was in the World Series last year. I don't agree, man. I've got a let's go for it mentality, and you've got a second place is going to be fine mentality.
Who was in the World Series last year, if I'm not mistaken?
Arizona.
Did they win the division?
No,
they did not.
Who did?
Dodgers.
Okay, but who won the division? Who won the division the year before?
My whole point is you're focusing on something that doesn't necessarily matter. Get in.
I understand what you're saying, that it doesn't necessarily matter. I get that. I'm just saying don't give up on the possibility. Don't just say we're only playing for second place. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, listen, stick around. You know what really bothers me? Really kind of
recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing a trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, great friends. What's going on? It is Kaplan and crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and this segment is being brought to us by our friends at Life Brew Coffee, L-Y-F-E, lifebrew.com. This is mushroom coffee. This is not psilocybin getting you high. You're not going on some trip. This is naturally grown mushrooms and all the health benefits, like the lion's mane mushroom supports memory, focus, and nerve regeneration. The shiitake mushroom, great source of vitamin B. The turkey tail mushroom, great source of antioxidants and supports gut health. There's a lot of health benefits to drinking mushroom coffee. I personally take one scoop. I put it in my regular coffee every morning. You get 30% off when you use our code GREATFRIENDS. 30% off using the code GREATFRIENDS. For those of you that are watching, you can use the QR code that's on the screen. And for those of you that are not in Southern California, all I can tell you is this. My boy Brett Weiss, when you buy the Life Brew coffee, he's got a whole other company called Smilin' Wellness, and they do like pre-rolled doobies. Dude, he always takes some pre-rolls, throws them in the box for you because he wants you to try that product too. So to my boy Ricky, who's listening right now in Philly, hey, Philly, yo, he's going to send you a whole bunch of pre-rolls when you buy some of his coffee. Life Brew, L-Y-F-E, lifebrew.com. So I said I wish everybody would keep their hands to themselves. You know how many times, like, I see massive brawls on Twitter with baseball fans in particular. Football fans, we're just waiting for the football season to kick off before we see you.
Then we start clowning you.
Right. Well, then we'll see
That
you
used to be
people
our
kicking the
favorite
hell
part
out
of
of
the
each other.
season.
Right. Yeah. We can't wait to see you beat each other up. But I was seeing last week, there was this Yankees-Mets series, and these Yankee fans got into this brawl with these Mets fans. And, dude, it is just like one guy, no shirt, punches this dude, and he's walking around going, yeah, yeah. And, you know, you got people in the background going, kick his ass, kick his freaking ass, right? And everybody's shooting video. Nobody's trying to break it up, of course.
The most
right?
famous fight ever, Sons and Four guy.
Oh, legendary.
I mean,
total
just
legendary.
absolute
Total
legend.
legend. Right.
Yeah.
Total legend. Sons and Four guy.
Should I even use the word that I hate? Iconic?
Ooh.
Sons and Four guy.
Sons and Four guy?
Sons and Four guy was so famous for like 2 weeks after that. He was as famous as the Hawk Tua girl is right now. You know?
No. She beat him.
She beat him?
Sons and Four guy was not, invited on stage with all these country artists.
Okay.
Sons and Four guy didn't get some NIL deals.
No, but he did get he had like Devin Booker hooking him up with like jerseys and stuff.
Yeah,
But
people
Hawk
hooking
Tua,
her up with money.
Dude, Hawk Tua girl is so famous right now. Hawk Tua girl, I just saw her on and I saw it on social media. She's like a guest of Bill Maher on his podcast. So, she's sitting there drinking like a high noon. Bill Maher's sitting there sparking up a doobie, and he is interviewing Hawk Tua girl.
That's how far he's fallen.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe that's how far she's come up.
Tua girl.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to have Hawk Tua girl on.
Hawk Tua girl now lives in Los Angeles, bro. She got a management team.
She left Nashville already.
Already left Nashville, huh?
Damn.
She riding this 15-minute rocket to the moon, baby.
Yeah.
Good for her.
People love her. People love the Hawk Tour girl. Anyway, so last night I started to get people sending me videos. So there were after the game last night, Padres Dodgers, all these Padre fans and Dodger fans are on the train. I guess they're on the trolley. And there's this one big like Mexican looking dude with an Ohtani jersey on. And then there's some old man Padre fan. And I don't know exactly what happened. I do not know what happened. But the big Mexican dude is punching this old man in his face, and the old man's down and he's trying to get back up. And like, there's this one guy yelling in Spanish, like, yo, man, chill out. There's kids on the train. There's kids on the train. Come on, man, calm down. And finally, there's like an extended version. It's like 2 minutes. And the big dude who's doing all the punching in the Ohtani jersey, he's like, hey, man, we can talk all kinds of crap we want to about baseball. But when it starts to get into racist, I don't take that. Now, I don't know what was said. I cannot tell you what was said. I didn't hear racism. Yeah. There may have been. I don't know. Didn't hear it. Did you guys hear it? Did you guys see the video?
I saw the video because, I love a good fight. I did not hear any racist comments from the man who was eating fist. But I will tell you this.
Well, we could have missed the racist comments. Before.
Right.
People,
100%.
People don't start filming racist comments. People start filming the fists.
Punches.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this, and I've said this before on this show when we used to do stadium fights, which was glorious. If you're not ready to fight, shut up. Shut up. Don't go. If you're an old white man and you don't have the height advantage, you don't have the angle advantage, shut up. Go Padres. And this guy gonna say go Dodgers. And we're gonna keep it smooth. Because if you ain't ready to eat no hands, and feed a couple hands yourself, you might want to step away from the table, bruh. This is crazy. I see this all the time. Folks run their mouth thinking somebody ain't finna fill it with a fist. And the next thing
I'll even pull it back another layer.
Go ahead.
Who talks trash to strangers after a baseball game?
Thank you.
Like even that.
Why?
Even that.
Right.
Like who cares?
Right.
I
Like,
don't
if I-
get
like,
that.
if I'm a-
when
if
I
I'm a-
walk down the streets of downtown San Diego after a Padres game, we just beat the Dodgers. Like I'm not gonna start yapping to no freaking Dodger fans. Like for what?
Right.
I already got my thrill.
Right.
Cool.
What pleasure?
Right.
What pleasure
You
does that
won.
give me? Yeah. Big Mexican dude is on the train wearing the Ohtani jersey. I'm old, skinny white guy, and I want to just talk to him about the fact that the Padres had just beaten the Dodgers. I mean, I don't know what was said. I know the big guy said that there was some racism. If you guys can find it, tell me.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. Utah sports, what a night. It is proving to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the target. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double check. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, great friends. What's happening? It is a Wednesday afternoon. It's Kaplan and crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And as always, we come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. So it's always interesting when we bring up the subject of fights that happen between fans. And there's a video that's going viral of these Padre fans and Dodger fans. And one Dodger fan, big dude, Ohtani jersey, just punching down on this like old man in the trolley yesterday. And everybody just right away goes, well, he was saying some racist stuff. Like, okay, just can you just show me? Because just want to see it and hear it so that I understand why big Ohtani dude was beating up on old skinny guy.
And I know public transportation in San Diego is pretty awful anyways. And I know that the trolley is very convenient for a lot of people. But in 2006, when I moved to San Diego, I rode a trolley after a Padres Dodger game and a massive brawl broke out. And I was like, I'm never riding this thing again. And I learned my lesson pretty quickly. The trolley is just, you're too crammed in there, man. Like after a game, it's just, you're a glutton for punishment if you're on that thing, in my opinion.
The trolley is a representation of America. You can get on the trolley, you mind your damn business, you will get home safe and sound. When you start running off at the mouth in a public space, you get what you're supposed to get, okay? The internet has made people tough. So in your corner of the world where you can tittity-tap with your thumbs, you can say wild, crazy stuff about folks. But then sometimes you forget, I'm in public, and my Twitter voice came out, and this man corrected me. He lined me up. Because I can tell you right now, if this had been this big old young fella punching this old white man for no